Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my sewing room. As you can see, I have an Aurora dress on right now, but it is a not finished Aurora dress. So if we go back about like a month and a half ago, I think at this point, you will know that I was working on this dress, but that I then put it aside in its like nearly finished state so that I could work on Felicity and Barbie to get ready for Emerald City Comic Con. Well, Emerald City Comic Con is now literally 1 week away. Today's Friday. I start at Comic Con next Friday. I'm not going on Thursday. And I am probably wearing this on Sunday of the con. And it's now time to finish this. Now that said, I am actually working on Barbie at the same time as this. So where this video slots in like time-wise is where I got so fed up with Barbie in the last video that you will have seen last week that I decided I needed to put Barbie aside and get this one finished before spending then like my remaining time on Barbie. So that's why we are back to this one now. There's not that much left that needs to happen to this, but right now, let's be honest, it's gorgeous, but it's looking pretty plain. So we need to do the embellishments for Aurora. I also still need to hem this dress. I don't have a hem on this yet. So I am going to be working on the hem of this, like I'm doing that by hand. So that's not a big thing, but I will need to obviously like mark, pin the hem, etc. So that's something that's going to happen in this video. And I need to add the embellishments. So the first embellishment that is going to happen is going to be the sort of stereotypical like white Aurora collar thing that happens around the neckline. And I'm not doing it the standard way. I actually went and I got this sparkle kind of silvery tool. It's like mega glitter tool, if you can see how sparkly that is. And I am just going to kind of bundle this up in a little like twisted up, gathered, etc. thing. And I am going to stitch it along the neckline here so that it can look really nice and ethereal, but still give that like typical Aurora collar look. So that is gonna happen. Hopefully this is enough. I swear when I bought this, I measured that the width was enough to go around my shoulders. Looking at it now, I'm not feeling quite as confident. So hopefully that will be enough. That should be just kind of large whip stitches with like as sheer of a thread as possible. That's my plan for how to stitch this on. I think I even have like a silver metallic thread that I might try to do to stitch that on. So that is one thing. There's a little thing that I just need to add finger loops to the ends of the points of the hands just so they stay in place. I'm planning on hand stitching rubber bands to do that because I actually did that for Elsa, just like little nude color rubber bands, and that worked super, super well. So that's my plan for this as well. I also want to stitch some bra keeps into this because I don't want to go without a bra. Like I am wearing a corset, but I don't want to go without a bra to Comic-Con. But I know that because this is off the shoulder, my bra straps are going to want to go back up on my shoulders. So I want to stitch some little bra keeps in there just to keep them down. Yeah, this one's already poking up. But then the big embellishment thing that I'm adding this week are hanging sleeves. And I don't yet know exactly how I'm planning to do that, but it is out of this mystical, wonderful fabric. Look at this. It is like the world's most perfect match to the silk du peony of the dress, this blue-pink changeable. And basically I want sort of like cape sleeves in a way. So something that will probably either go all the way around right here or possibly just like from here under the armpit and then around to the back where I can't reach because this is off the shoulder. But something like that that will then drape down like from my armpit, elbow, maybe to wrist, and kind of be capey. I'm not exactly sure how to do that, so I'm gonna have to figure that out, and it's gonna be hard to figure out because like I don't know if I can do it while I'm wearing it because I need to be able to access things and I don't have a ton of mobility in this. So yeah, this fabric is from CNC Fabrics. I will link this down below. Found it from a lucky Google search and it was really reasonably priced as well. And I'm so excited to use it. I think it's just gonna be like glorious looking. I mean, God, look at that. It was the perfect fabric that I needed. And yeah, and then I'm also going to style Aurora's wig this week. So that's everything left for Aurora. I am planning on entering this cosplay in the Sunday like cosplay showcase competition, which is where I did Elsa 2 years ago and my Felicity pink spring dress last year. So obviously I do want this to look as good as possible. So I'm going to get started with all of this by marking and pinning the hem just because I'm already wearing all of this. I am going to hem this for the level of flats as opposed to heels. This is long enough that honestly I might just kind of wear my normal like black Mary Jane walking pumps just because I don't think anyone's really going to see it. But I'm kind of thinking that for the cosplay competition, to go along with the silveryness up here, I'm probably going to put on my new Dream Pairs rhinestone flats. So that's these guys. I'll link these down in the description. I showed you these with Barbie's video, but yeah, I'm kind of thinking these will be just like nice to wear with this as well. Thank you to Dream Pairs for sending those to me. And yeah, so I've got a bunch of work to do on this. I'm kind of hoping I can knock all of this out like today and tomorrow because I do still need to do a lot of work on Barbie and I still have to make my build book for Felicity for like the big cosplay competition. This one doesn't need one, which is nice. But yeah, I better get going because this hem alone is going to take me forever to hand sew. Please ignore the Barbie mess on the floor, but the hem is now all pinned and pressed into place, so that is ready to be stitched. That will happen over the next couple of days here probably because it's so big. And then now I am pinning the tulle onto the top of the bodice, and I just wanted to show you the sun is coming through the sewing room window right now, and it's not even showing up on camera as to how glittery this is, but it is so sparkly and really pretty, and I really like it. I hope that it shows up to you guys or like when I'm actually wearing it at the con, but it looks really cool. So basically I've tucked the end of this over here and I've pinned that in place, and then I'm going to kind of like loosely pin as I go every so often, but I'm really planning on doing like just kind of big whip stitches over all that. Look at that sparkle. And yeah, that should kind of help me just put all of that on around the neckline. Okay, so I know that this looks really weird because I'm doing this without the bodice, but while I am working on sewing all of the floof around the neckline, I also figured since I'd have more mobility without the bodice on, I'm going to try and figure the drape out. So what I have done so far is I actually just took the entire width of the fabric. I forget exactly how much I got. I want to say it was 3 yards, but I'll put it in the number up here. And I took 2 of the corners and I pinned it to my camisole right here in front. And then from there, I kind of draped it underneath my arm and took a little bit and pinned it up here on the upper like back shoulder. Like it's not quite the apex of my shoulder. It's a little bit farther back, but I pinned it there so that there'd be like just a little drape under the armpits. It wouldn't be like tight, but it would just kind of drape there. And that was looking really, really pretty, but I definitely wanted like some sleeve movement too. So right now I have tucked up the other corner, the opposite corner of the length here, into my Fitbit to just see what would happen. I do feel like though that I want like connection here, I think. So I'm not sure that that is the right answer. I'm loving the way that it's draping in the back. I don't know how much of this you can see, but I am really liking that where it kind of falls down in the center and then drapes really nicely over the skirt. I don't think you can see all the way down, and it does definitely blend in with the skirt as well. But I think that's really, really pretty. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like one of Amidala's dresses, I think, from Star Wars. But I'm really liking that drape going on. It's just the question of how I want to connect it to the sleeves, because I do think like somewhere in here having this kind of connection, like even just at the midpoint, just at the elbow, something like that. So I have to figure that part out, but we're definitely getting close because I think this whole situation works really nicely. So I would just have to stitch like a few stitches and hope that it actually can hold, because this is pretty delicate fabric. But as long as it doesn't drag, I think I'd probably be okay. I also have to make sure that it doesn't get in the way of going to the bathroom. So the hem of the skirt is now complete, and I have this pinned onto the dress form in an attempt to like put it on the dress form, because it really doesn't, because she doesn't have, you know, shoulders and arms, which is kind of what I need to look at right here. This is still just pinned in place for the most part. I did a few stitches earlier and that was it, but I'm still trying to figure out the drape situation here. I think I kind of like this, which is a little bit different than what I showed you on me before, mainly just that this goes up further and then it kind of tucks underneath the neckline. I also tried it where it was like fully closed to about here, but I just wasn't loving what it looked like on the sleeve. I'm still not sure I'm loving what this looks like either though, because I feel like there it looks really ugly, like quite bunchy. Now, for one thing, I have not cut off the selvage edges yet. So like there is a little bit right here that you can see it's actually black. So I would cut that off. But also I noticed that when you cut the edges, well, this is the vertical edge, it rolls. So it makes itself much darker, and I don't think there's any way to keep it unrolled. I mean, I don't know that I hate that. This doesn't fray or anything, it's mesh, but I am still liking the drape, just so you can see it in the mirror there. So that's kind of the drape that's going on in the back. Try to get a view over here in better color. But yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like right now. On me, I think for one thing, my shoulders just sit a lot higher than where this is right now. So because it was not dragging on the floor on me, and I don't want it to drag. That was the point of hemming this off of the floor. So I'm gonna have to look at that on me tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more of sewing the neckline area down, and then I will try to put it on with this pinned in place tomorrow to see what that looks like. Because I mean, if it's good, this just needs like probably a little bit of tacking. Maybe I'll do some tacking under the arm as well. And then I have it still attached down here at the wrist, which I think is how I want it, but I'm not sure. So I'm still working at getting all of this sewn down, but I really love how you literally like cannot see the stitches. So I stitched it with metallic thread, which is why it's just completely blended in there. And I've basically just done more stitches around the top and then like a few in the middle and at the bottom. I've gotten to about, I think like right here. So I still have to do the rest, but I didn't do the shoulder because I do want this to tuck in underneath it. I think this is the drape that I like though. So what I've done here is, first off, I cut off the selvage, which made it much kind of sheerer and finer at the edge here. And then I'm going around the sleeve. I think this one maybe pulled a little bit too tight right now. Like I kind of like how the drape looks on this one a little bit better. So I have to match this one to the other one, but I have it tucked up at the center top of the sleeve underneath the collar, and then it's following the armscye around. And then I have a little attachment point. I mean, right now it's just pinned to the elbow, and then it's attached again down at the wrist. So like that is what it will look like when the arm is moving. So there's lots of layers there. And then just looking at that from the back, this again, that's what it looks like. And then it hangs down here, hangs down into the center. So you see like the back of the bodice, and it just kind of flows. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I was tempted to try and put it on first, but like this many pins in an armpit is the stupidest thing you could do basically. So I think I'm just gonna whip stitch it down and hope that that works, and if it doesn't, I'll unstitch it. But yeah, that's where we are at with sleeve drapes. It's now all sewn down around the armscye. Basically, it's a smooth fit except for like right back here, pretty much at where the seam is, where there's a little bit of a tuck. I don't even think I can really get it in there, but there's a little tuck right here to kind of help the curve go around, but otherwise it is smooth underneath the arm as well. And I was about to attach the bottom part here to the wrist when it dawned on me that if I actually have this permanently attached to the wrist, I feel like it's going to make things like going to the bathroom really a pain, because then I'm going to have fabric extending from my wrists, like, you know, when trying to do things. So what if, my thought is now, I put it on a rubber band that I just wear? So basically this fabric piece right here that's currently pinned to the sleeve will just be attached to the rubber band, and I will wear the rubber band, and that way I can take it off when I need to have more movement. Yes, it does mean that when I take it off there will be a rubber band attached to this, but I don't think I'll ever be taking it off while I'm like walking around the con, just like if I'm eating or going to the bathroom or something like that, just to get it out of the way. So I think that is my plan. We will see if that will work. I'll go with the rubber band for the point. I forget if I showed you this, but I did sew these bands on to keep the point right over my middle finger. So this will get worn on my middle finger basically. All right, I think Aurora may in fact be done. This is all now hand sewn along the top. I kind of just wanted it to look like a sparkly cloud. I do feel like parts of it look a lot neater than other parts, so we're gonna see if that really bothers me when it's on, and if so, I may have to do some fiddling there. But I also kind of love the glitter fallout that it has created in certain parts, and I am honestly tempted to like spray glitter on the day just to kind of get that look of additional glitter because I kind of love it. Here are the sleeves. You can see there's a little glitter fallout on the sleeves as well, which again, don't mind. But basically what I did is I showed you before, I went around the arm's eye, and then I also put a little tack spot at the elbow, and then hi Lion, thank you for clanging for all of that. And then I did also affix that rubber band down here at the bottom, and that will go around my wrist to drape this back up. So yeah, I think Aurora is done at the moment. I'm gonna put her on tomorrow. I'm still kind of in a sewing mood, so now I'm going to jump back over to the Barbie video and attempt to work on that pile. Dora wanted in on the glitter tool, and I think she looks fabulous. This, by the way, is how much glitter tool was left from the neckline, so I did cut it pretty close, but you know, it worked after all. Do you like how sparkly you are? Sparkle. Oh, it's totally on her fur now too. Sparkle. Oh my gosh, you guys! It's done and it's on for the first time. I am very, very excited about this whole thing. I was somehow able to do up the hooks and bars in the back by myself. I put about like half of them on, probably more than half of them, basically everywhere except the waist. I put that on, closed them up before I put the bodice on, and then I could close up the other ones as I was wearing it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it off that way, so that's gonna be fun in a little bit. But I am very excited about how this all looks. I do want to show you too, I actually just had a couple of items arrive for this. They were sent to me by Sweet V Crowns, and so they sent me 3 crowns to give a try, see which ones I would want to keep and use for Aurora. So these are them. I'll link them all down in the description, but there's this one right here, and then there is this one right here, and this one right here. So I'll let you know like 1, 2, 3 down in the description so you can see all of those. And they have a code for you guys if you guys are interested in ordering any tiaras. If you use the code Lady Rebecca, you'll get 15% off your purchase. Personally, I am about to post a poll on Instagram to see what you guys think, but personally I am leaning towards this one. I think it is so pretty, but somehow still like really classic and understated, and I think it's the classic that is really making me like it the most. And so I think this is the one I'm gonna go with. It just picks up the silver of the neckline really, really nicely, I think. But it is actually an antique gold metal, and then it's just got like the silver crystals. And so I think that it does a good job of like hearkening to Aurora's crown while still looking like really classic and everything. So I think that's the one I'm gonna go with, but I will let you guys help me decide as well. Obviously you'll have to have participated in the Instagram poll, because by the time you see this video, Comic-Con will have happened like 2 weeks ago. So anyway, yeah, I have it all on. Oh, I don't have the crown pinned in, which I really need to do before I go out and take pictures, which is what I'm about to do. But I have the sleeve drape all up, and as long as my wrists are in the loops, it is not dragging on the ground, so I don't have to hem it at all or cut it shorter, so that is great. I do worry a little bit that my finger loops feel tight. The wrist loops, totally fine, but the finger loops feel a little tight. So we'll see how that goes. I might have to like take them off during the day in parts, but yeah, everything else seems really perfect. So I'm gonna go outside and take some pictures. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am just so happy with how this has turned out. I want to wear this like so often. I mean, I'm really excited to wear it this weekend for Comic-Con. I can't wait to like take more pictures. I'm probably gonna wear it to costume college this summer. I just really like how it turned out. The fabric is just like dreamy fabrics. I mean, that fabric and this fabric, everything is so dreamy, and I'm really so happy with it. I might intersperse some Comic-Con footage right here depending on when I edit this video, so there's potential Comic-Con footage right here. But yeah, I am just so thrilled with how this came out. I hope that you have enjoyed the making of process of this. I know most of it came like a month and a half ago, so do be sure to check out those videos, which I will link down in the description below. But yeah, I'm thrilled with how this Aurora costume turned out. I think this is probably my favorite princess costume that I've made now. It's just like, it's so dreamy. I love it. Anyway, if you liked this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube at least once, if not twice per week, with my sewing vlogs like this out on Tuesdays and sometimes other costuming content out on Saturdays, but I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Patreon and my Ko-fi down in the description below, or you can send me a super thanks right here on YouTube. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my Edwardian level patrons, Sharon, Mirage, Laura, and Jean. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!